In the recent Nintendo Partner Showcase, we got a brand new trailer for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, the game where we can finally experience Tears of the Kingdom's imprisoning war, allowing us to explore the era when Hyrule was founded, when the Demon King Ganondorf ravaged the land, and when King Rauru made the ultimate sacrifice, sealing both himself and Ganondorf beneath what would become Hyrule Castle. In this trailer, we are given a deeper look at this ancient kingdom, its people, its sages, and new gameplay featuring a familiar cast of characters, alongside the reveal of a strange, mysterious humanoid construct buried deep within a shrine. There's a lot to dig into here, so let's break down everything we are shown, from the newly revealed gameplay to what this could tell us about the deeper story behind Age of Imprisonment. The trailer begins with a sweeping shot of Rauru's Hyrule Castle, a location we have previously seen in Tears of the Kingdom's Memories and the first Age of Imprisonment trailer, but this time we get a much clearer view of the full exterior, including the balcony where Ganondorf stood when he transformed into the Demon King, as well as a small lake behind the rear of the castle, and a strange, clouded structure looming beside it. Next, we see Sonia and Princess Zelda walking through the castle grounds, which fades into a shot of Rauru, Sonia, and Zelda standing together. Here, Rauru presents the ancient Goron Sage mask to what appears to be the Goron Sage, possibly marking the moment when each of the 7 sages is formally granted their sacred role. We then see Rauru and Sonia standing hand in hand somewhere near Hyrule Castle, possibly the very place where Zelda first awoke after arriving in the past. Here, Rauru's arms appear to be glowing, indicating that he is channeling his Zonai magic, possibly to activate a Zonai device, or maybe to join Sonia in a prayer for the kingdom's safety. In the shot after this, we see Ganondorf's gloom attacking the people of Hyrule, followed by Rauru wielding his yellow-beamed Zonite spear. Here, he stands alongside the Hylian soldiers, who are armed with Zonite weapons, seemingly forged from a different material than his own. Together, they prepare to face off against strange phantom-like creatures born from the gloom. This is perhaps the most intriguing detail so far, as these gloom phantoms do not appear anywhere in Tears of the Kingdom. Judging by their design, I'd suggest that these creatures may be more agile, combat-ready manifestations of the Gloom Hands, possibly serving as foot soldiers in Ganondorf's rising army. After this, we see a shot of Death Mountain, shrouded by the ominous glow of the blood moon, which is then followed by Sonia standing on a cliff near Hyrule Castle, where petals gently drift away from her, carried by the wind towards the vast landscape beyond. The screen then fades to black, only to be interrupted by the monstrous roars of Ganondorf's most powerful servants. First a boss bokoblin, then a Lynel, and finally a Gleeok, with each looking as menacing as ever. This is followed by our first gameplay shot in the trailer, where we see the Goron Sage. As his secret stone emits a red glow, he claps his hands together before thrusting his fists forward, while beside him stands the Rito Sage, who takes aim with his bow, just as a fiery barrier surrounds him, which is strikingly similar to Daruk's protection from Breath of the Wild. This seems to be an example of what I call a teammate attack, a mechanic previously shown in the first trailer, where 2 characters combine their abilities to unleash a devastating blow, or perhaps to even buff each other. We then watch as the Rito Sage incinerates a group of bokoblins using a Zonai flame emitter, suggesting that each sage may utilize specific Zonai devices in battle. Next, we get our first look at the depths in this trailer, as Minoru marches through a shadowed cavern with Hylian soldiers at her side, which is immediately followed by a connecting shot of Zelda and Rauru walking closely behind her. This seems to be another segment where you can control Zelda, outside of the usual Warriors gameplay style. After this, we see Zelda and Rauru join hands as a radiant light emanates from them, before unleashing powerful beams of light, decimating the foes ahead of them. Then we find Minoru standing atop what appears to be a sky island, summoning Zonai fans that blast the constructs in front of her with powerful gusts of wind. This moment actually raises some big questions. For one, there aren't any islands in the sky in the memories of Tears of the Kingdom, so how is Minoru standing atop one of them in this scene? And more importantly, why are the constructs attacking Minoru? In other parts of the game's trailer, they are clearly shown to be standing alongside Hyrule's royal family. So what changed? Could they have developed their own sentience? Or is there something much darker at play? Maybe a corrupting force has seized control of them, much like how Calamity Ganon once overtook the ancient Sheikah Guardians with his malice. In the next scene, we see what appears to be the build-up to a teammate attack. First from Rauru and Sonia, then from Zelda and the Zora Sage. This is followed by a brief glimpse of Ganondorf's army, before cutting to Rauru as he summons radiant spikes of light that burst from the ground toward his enemies. Next is my favourite part of the trailer, where we watch as Zelda uses recall on an explosive barrel thrown by a moblin, sending it back to cause a devastating explosion. What I love about this scene is that it shows real environmental gameplay, as in most Warriors games, you're usually limited to your own arsenal, but here, Zelda clearly turns an enemy's own attack against them, which makes me wonder what other enemy attacks will players be able to take advantage of in battle. After this, we get the reveal of who I assume is the Gerudo Sage, except this time, she isn't wearing a mask, marking the first time we have actually seen one of these sages without a mask. Here, she is shown battling Rauru in the Gerudo Desert, which makes me think that she may have originally aligned herself with Ganondorf, before eventually joining Rauru's sages in the Imprisoning War. Given the focus on her character, it seems likely that as Zelda and Rauru, we may journey across Hyrule to find and recruit those who will become sages, rather than already being appointed them from the very start. After this, we see Rauru looking back at his army of Hylians and constructs, while embers of a scorched land drift through the air. This is followed by a scene of Rauru and Sonia in conversation, with Zelda chasing behind in what appears to be a serious discussion, possibly about how to confront Ganondorf's rising threat. After this, we see a close-up of Zelda's face, looking distraught or uncertain, before Sonia gently places her hands beneath hers, perhaps to guide Zelda in better controlling her powers, or maybe simply to offer reassurance in a moment of doubt. Then we see Rauru standing seriously in Hyrule Castle, uttering the words, "There is danger here," before the trailer cuts to the title card, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment. But the trailer doesn't end here. Shortly after the title card, we see what appears to be a crumbled underground door that is pierced with roots, before fading to a shot of an underground staircase, with a Zonai emblem glowing at the top. An important detail about this part of the trailer is that the music playing closely resembles Vi's theme from Skyward Sword. Which ties into a theory that I'll discuss in a moment. Now we are shown the final shot of the trailer, which is honestly the most intriguing part of all. Here, we see what appears to be a humanoid construct, slowly awakening from a long slumber. The glowing blue energy linking its limbs together is highly reminiscent of how Minoru inhabits her construct body in the present day, which raises a major question. If this construct is being inhabited by somebody, then who exactly is inside? The most obvious theory is that this is Koei Tecmo's way of including Link in the story, without physically placing him in the game's world, since that would disrupt the canon set in Tears of the Kingdom. But even so, that theory still doesn't explain how he would have gained control of this construct body, or why there's no mention of it in Tears of the Kingdom. Personally, I think something else is at play, as just before this scene, we heard a theme that closely resembles Vi's theme, and as longtime Zelda fans know, music in this series is never a coincidence. So here's my theory. I believe that the construct is not being controlled by Tears of the Kingdom's version of Link, but by the spirit of the Master Sword itself, or more specifically, what remains of her essence, guiding this ancient body to help Hyrule in its desperate time of need. Throughout the wild era of games, we have already seen traces of Fi's lingering presence, like in Breath of the Wild, when the Master Sword speaks to Zelda, urging her to place Link in the Shrine of Resurrection, and again in Tears of the Kingdom, when the broken Master Sword guides Link to hold it in the light, so it can be sent back through time to Zelda in the past, showing us that even after thousands of years, Fi's spirit has never truly faded, making it entirely possible that she has now found a way to transfer her consciousness to this Zonai construct. But what if this construct is not just Fi's spirit? What if this is actually inhabited by the accumulated data of every hero who ever wielded the Master Sword? An amalgamation of knowledge, instinct, and battle experience, collected over thousands of years, forming a single, ultimate warrior to help turn the tide of the Imprisoning War. This of course is just a theory, but based on what we have seen and heard, I don't think that it's out of the question. I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. I can't even begin to express how excited I am for this game. As a longtime Zelda fan, the chance to witness the founding of Hyrule and connect with these iconic characters is so exciting to me. Back when we first saw the trailers for Tears of the Kingdom, I thought we were heading exactly where Age of Imprisonment is taking us now, back to the distant past, fighting in a war only spoken of in legend, the war that would shape the future we explored in Breath of the Wild. However, that idea never fully came to pass. But now, with Age of Imprisonment, we finally get to step into that story, and honestly, I can't wait to experience it. This trailer alone has already given us so much to think about, and unlike Age of Calamity, which ultimately took place in an alternate timeline, this time around, Age of Imprisonment has been confirmed to be canon by Nintendo, making it a direct part of the story told in Tears of the Kingdom, which really adds so much weight to everything that we have seen so far. While I understand that Warriors-style games are not for everyone, I've always enjoyed them. There's just something so satisfying about mowing through hordes of enemies, slowly turning the tide of the battle, and feeling like you are truly part of a legendary war. So for me, I genuinely can't wait to dive into this game's story once Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment finally releases. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? What are your thoughts on everything we have seen so far? And most importantly, who do you think is inhabiting that strange humanoid construct? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then leave a like or subscribe to the channel for more Zelda content like this in the future. Anyway, that's all from me for today, so I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.